give a round of applause for Shawn Q with the Legacy Tribe.
All right, hey everyone, I am Shawn Q, and when I was a wee kid, 7 years old, I went to a birthday party with my cousin, who had just gotten his first job. And our entire family was super excited, so we all huddled around him, and they asked all the obvious questions like, what kind of work are you doing, and how's your boss, and where's this at? And my mom and my grandma were on the side saying, you better work hard, don't get fired. And nobody was asking the question I wanted to know. So me as a 7-year-old, I look up and I say, so how much money are you making? And all the room went, and complete silence. And I thought I was in trouble. So my uncle, he pulled me aside and he said, Shawn, you're not in trouble, don't worry, but never ask about money. We don't talk about money, we don't bring it up, it's rude. He went on to say, some people were born to be nails, other people were born to be hammers. You and me, we're the nails. We keep everything together, but we're not in charge. He also said, money doesn't grow on trees. Unless you're rich, then the world is at your fingertips. But they don't have a soul. They may have money, but we have soul. And so I grew up believing this, and the only other conversation I had about money was when my mom came rushing home from a meeting she had with her boss. She worked at this hotel, and she came home and she said to my dad, guess what? I had this great meeting with my boss, and my dad said, so tell me about it. And she was like, I got a raise. And he's like, oh my gosh, how much? And she said, 10 cents more an hour. And she was so excited for that 10 cents more. And I was a little confused at that point because I thought you weren't supposed to ask about money. And I kind of equated it to, well, you can ask about money and you can get excited about it, but it has to be a very small amount. And so I got my very first job, and I'm a first-generation American. And when you're a first-generation American, you work hard. You are gobbling up all the opportunities you can. And so I was their hardest worker. 20 minutes in early, 20 minutes in late. And, or after work, not late. And I saved the company money. I made the company money. And I was so excited to get my paycheck at the end of the week for $200. And then I wanted to get married. And if you've ever gotten married in here, weddings are expensive. It should be criminal how much chicken costs for a wedding. And then we went to our honeymoon, and on the plane ride to our honeymoon, I look at my wife and I say, you know, we better enjoy this because this is the last time we're gonna be able to do anything like this for a long time. And fellas, that is the worst way to put someone in the mood. That is the worst way to start a honeymoon. But that's what I believed. And then we came back from the honeymoon, we lived in this 700 square foot apartment, and we discovered for the first time living on our own, groceries are expensive. So we, instead of going to Target, instead of going to Walmart, we went to the dollar store for the very first year of our marriage, grocery shopping. And we discovered that when you are pinching pennies, pasta is the best thing to do to fill you up. So on the menu every night was pasta from the dollar store with no sauce and maybe butter if we could afford it. And then I went to my boss one day after working there for about 5 years, and I asked her, do you mind if I get a raise? I've been working here for about 5 years, 10 cents, please. Because that's all I thought we could get. And she said no. And as soon as I asked for more, what happened was they began to treat me worse and worse and worse. And I made a decision at that point. I said, I don't want to be the nail anymore. But I also don't want to be the hammer. I don't want to be rich and soulless. I want to be rich and change the world.
There you go. Yeah.
And so I did a little bit of research, and I discovered two things. Number one, business in America is one of the best ways to make money. Number two, poverty is the underlying driver for so many issues we face. Increased crime rates, increased divorce, increased dropout rates, increased drug addiction, increased school dropouts. And so I made a decision, I'm going to make a lot of money by eradicating poverty. And if you come to our headquarters, you'll recognize our vision is to eradicate poverty. And I don't celebrate anymore 10-cent raises. I celebrate with our clients, $10,000 clients, $20,000 clients, $50,000 clients, $200,000 corporate contracts. And I made a decision. I'm going to help people take out poverty in their lives. Like Stephanie, who was able to pay all of her student loans off after 3 months. Or Penny, who was homeless and was able to pay off her house. And so we help people eradicate poverty. You're going to have to find out how during Q&A, because I'm getting the signal to stop. Thank you. You.
So how are you helping people eradicate poverty?
Great question. So I am a high-ticket sales coach. Specifically what we do is we help people uncover the money relationship that they have. Oftentimes, and maybe we can do a show of hands here, how many of you grew up, maybe not in poverty, but with a poverty mindset, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, don't ask about money, don't bring it up, it's personal, etc., right? And so we help people uncover their money relationships. We also help people uncover how to present their offer, specifically coaches, consultants, and service providers, in a way where people are excited about buying. And so we show people how to create excited buyers through something called our Heck Yes sales process. We have this whole methodology called Heck Yes, where I wake up just like our previous speaker said, heck yes, I woke up today, I have a new thing to do, I have more people to reach out to, and so we teach them this sales process so that they can speak confidently about money. Oftentimes growing up in poverty, the best, like the biggest numbers I talked about were $10, $15, $50, $100 if you're crazy, and $25,000 wasn't normal. And so we help them normalize that process in their business so they can make a lot of money. Great question. Yes, sir?
What are your thoughts on financial education not being taught in school?
That's a great question. So what are my thoughts about financial education not being taught in school? I think I took algebra twice because I got a D- in my first time. And I thought, you know what, I can get an A in it. And then I got a D+. I don't remember anything about algebra. I wish that I was taught stuff about taxes. I wish I was taught about saving, about investing. And I think there's systemic issues within our education system that we definitely have to rebuild. So finances absolutely should be mandatory for every freshman in high school. Yeah, great question.
Where are you? I mean, physically, where's your business at?
Yeah.
And who is the primary client? What's your niche market?
Great question. So I am on the stage at this comedy club right now. Our headquarters are in Colorado Springs. We are all digital, so everything we do is online. Specifically, we work with coaches, consultants, and service providers in a wide variety of ranges and industries. So I have literally as a client a fertility coach who helps people get pregnant. And then I have on the other hand a learning expert who landed LinkedIn recently and is working with our corporate contract. I have another client who's working with the NFL. So a wide variety of things, but if you have a service that you're doing, whether it's web development, social media, graphic design, anything of that sort, or you're a coach or you're a consultant, then we can help you package your offer, use our Heck Yes sales method to land high-paying clients. And not just high-paying clients, but dream clients. Something that I tell a lot of our clients is a bad client is worse than having no client at all. It'll ruin your reputation, it'll ruin your mindset, it'll ruin your energy, it'll sap you of any passion you have for your business, and so we show people how to land dream clients that are excited to pay you. So it's a great question. Yeah?
I remember when I first started my business, the hardest part, the biggest obstacle for me to overcome was asking people for money.
Yeah.
That was hard, right?
Yeah.
My first sales calls that I ever had made, I literally took a shot before I made those calls.
Yeah.
The pain of it all.
I love it.
How do you, rather than taking shots, how do you help people overcome that pain?
Well, shots aren't a bad strategy. So the question is, when I first started my business, I was having a lot of trouble talking about money, like bringing up the price. Her strategy was taking a shot, and like, what do we do? So oftentimes the struggle with a money talk or having the conversation around money is simply a lack of practice. It's you just haven't said the number before, and the first time you're saying your number is in front of a potential client. So something we go through within our with our training is we tell people, like right now, everyone say this: I charge $50,000.
I charge
Hello? Yeah. So let's do it again. Okay, on the count of three, everyone say this: I charge $50,000. 1, 2, 3.
I charge $50,000.
Okay, cool. So let's say it again, but like you mean it, like you actually charge that. All right, 1, 2, 3.
I charge $50,000.
Yeah. Oftentimes, like I said before, our money talk is only around 10 cents, $10, and we don't talk about those high-paying numbers, so we're uncomfortable talking about it. So my recommendation is to practice. Practice, practice, practice. Say it in front of everybody. I do an exercise with one of our clients where we took them to the mall back before COVID, and I told them, go talk to 10 people, and every single person you talk to, you have to talk about money. Just go have the conversation. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to think you're weird. But if that's the worst thing, then that's okay, because you're going to get comfortable talking about it over and over and over. The last thing I'll say before I call on the next question is, confidence isn't a requirement, it's a result. And so you don't need confidence to get started. You get started and you'll develop the confidence as you do it over and over and over again. That's a great question.
Yes, my question is, how do you handle people that literally look you in the face and say, how dare you charge that?
It's a great question.
You are. I've had people say that to me, I can't tell you how many times.
Yeah, me too.
So how do you respond? Not react, but how do you respond to that?
Punch him in the face.
Yep.
No, I'm totally kidding. So the question is, how do you respond to somebody having a negative reaction to your price? Saying, how dare you charge that much? Oftentimes that reaction comes from a couple of things. Number one, a lack of preparation. So many times, this is what happens. You're having a conversation, and then somebody says, so, like, tell me what you do, right? And you're like, oh, cool, this is a potential client. So you're having the conversation, and you immediately go into your program and your price. Instead, we teach a 7-step process that slows down the conversation and focuses not on affordability, but possibility. And so the very first question I ask isn't, so what do you do, or, how do you need our help? It's, let's imagine you and I were working together, and 3 months in, you got every result you wanted. What would be possible at that point? Because it takes their mind off of price and focuses them on possibility. The next thing I talk about is what happens if you and I don't work together. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, everything's the same, or even worse. What happens at that point? And we're leading them down the process to get to the price. It's about 30 to 45 minutes before I even talk about the price, because I want to set them up well for the price. Now, if somebody does say, how dare you charge that, or, oh my gosh, that's crazy, that's an insane amount of money, I personally look forward to that, because number one, it says, I set my price with confidence. Number two, it means I've positioned myself in that person's mind as top tier, as luxury. I don't want to be the cheapest. I'm not the most affordable coach, but I am striving to be the very best. And so I want that reaction. And then what we do is, when it comes to that specific objection, the very first question I ask is, yeah, I hear you. I get it. You're having a little bit of a challenge with the money. Tell me more about that. Because I don't want to take it personal. I want to help them explore, why was that such a big number for you? And kind of coach them through that process. And then the way we teach it is we call it a tier process. So I always start with my highest ticket offer, and then I go down. So, okay, you can't say heck yes to that right now. What if you and I play with the numbers, we figure out what works best for you? I don't discount, but maybe we can play with the numbers and we can play with what I'm offering and see what works best for you to be able to say yes today. And then we figure out what offer can they say yes to today. One of the biggest reasons you're not landing clients is because you only have one offer and you're only selling one thing. So, does that answer your question? Okay, great, cool, thank you. Okay, you've asked 3 questions. That's not person back there.
Would you talk about your success with social media. I know basically all your clients come online, and you've mastered what I think most of us in this room would love to have is that funnel that clients just come to us. Can you
Yeah.
talk to that?
Yeah, so my very first client paid me, paid in full for 3 months of coaching, $10 a month. $30, my very first client, it was super fun. And I realized that, one, I had challenges with money, so I had to work through that, but also I wasn't setting people up with an experience of what it's like to work with me. So many people sell the concept of their work, as opposed to the experience of it. When you sell the concept, the question is, do you want to start? When you give an experience, it's, do you want to continue? And so what we do is we give people an experience on Facebook through a 5-day challenge. It's absolutely free, and during those 5 days, I literally overwhelm people with information. And not just information, but I give them actionable items, because I hate books that waste my time. Give me what I need so I can go do it. So during this 5-day challenge, we literally give over 60 minutes every single day, actionable things. Do this week, you will land a high-paying client. And we've had it time and time again, people actually get results. And then after the 5 days, we make an offer of, hey, would you like to continue working with us? And there are some things that we do strategically. We're actually doing one starting this Monday, which is pretty exciting. Yeah. So that's a great question. Thanks, Robert. Yes?
Where do we find this challenge?
So, good question. So if you go to clientschallenge.com, you'll be able to find it. If you go to Facebook, you can search One Client Away. It's the name of the challenge. You're one client away from being able to quit that job, pay that bill, go on vacation. If you are landing $200 clients, $500 clients, $2,000 clients, you deserve to be paid more. I believe a worker deserves his wages, and you deserve to be paid what your service is worth. So clients, it's plural because we want you to learn more than one, challenge.com. Great question. Any other questions? I know you had one.
Oh, I can engage.
Yeah, you can engage now.
All right, I love your concept.
Oh, thank you.
I love your enthusiasm as well. So, I think I heard you say you are a coach,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, if you could break down in the most succinct way possible, tell us what the modality of coaching is, because there are so many, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
It's a great question. So the question is, what's your modality of coaching? To kind of break that down a little bit more, what's your method? And so there's a difference between coaches and consultants. Consultants give you the answer. They bring their experience to the table. You have a problem, and they say, okay, I have experience with this problem. I know how to get out. A coach instead doesn't lead with answers. He leads or she leads with questions. And so their goal is to help you explore your problem so that you can have a better understanding, more confidence, and a greater mindset when you attack that problem. So for us, we specifically use a program or a method called coactive coaching. There's a certification, we've gone through the whole process, but it's essentially, I'm here to partner with you. I'm not here to be your guru. I'm not here to be the expert. You're the expert, and my job is to help you recognize that. As your coach, I say this to a lot of our clients, as your coach, my job is to pull out your greatness, reveal it to you, and remind you that is who you are every single day. So that they can show up 100% them. Authentic, powerful, confident, etc. So, that's a great question. Yeah.
It's time for our special question. Who will do the honors? Jolas.
What can we do as a Colorado Springs community to support you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I started attending 1 Million Cups 6 weeks ago, and I can't tell you. As a kid who was incredibly suicidal when he was younger, as somebody who was depressed for most of my high school career, as somebody who was bullied for so long, I've craved a community where I didn't try to fit in, but where I belonged. And as soon as I came in, the very first conversation revealed to me, oh, these are my people. And so I just want to say thank you first for being such an open and welcome community that doesn't focus on pitches, but focuses on story, which is like such a unique experience for me. As far as what you guys can do for me, continue to be that community and continue to send people to our challenge. That's how we generate most of our leads. That's how we generate most of our clients. ClientsChallenge.com. Yeah, thank you.